Good evening. When I made my video on the worthiness of an MBA degree or postgraduate degree in MBA or similar other studies, which is not directly application oriented or directly more of a laboratory oriented, I thought I was frivolous. I thought that whether a university degree is worth it in areas of law, journalism, management studies, and you name other areas like whatever art, commerce, accountancy. I thought I was becoming frivolous because those have been the age-old historic rules. You invest yourself, and to invest in yourself, the best way to do it is a university degree, a good university degree, graduation, post graduation. Now, last few days I have been spending significant time in YouTube and Twitter, thankfully, and I find that combination is a great combination for learning and investing in yourself. Rather than investing $100,000, $200,000 for a university undergraduate, postgraduate degree, I am getting more and more convinced that don't do that. Sit in a cafe, or if your home is good enough, nobody sort of banters you all the time. Ask your mom to supply endless cup of tea, coffee, and browse through these huge GAN, beautiful presentation, lectures, discussions, debates in YouTube and Twitter, because Twitter is a good place to get the lead. It is something like lead generation can happen from Twitter, and then you invest in YouTube, watch those things in a systematic way. At the same time, what I found is most surprising. I had a few other areas to talk on, but I thought that let me hold on to that and speak on this. Is that there is this rare attempt in structuring this huge, unstructured pile of education related content in YouTube or Twitter, structure them properly and feed the students, because otherwise the students may get lost. There should be a structure, there should be a systematic, schematic way to keep the intellectual curiosity on what to study, how to study, what after what comes first, what comes next. So I believe it is great to have a at least thought that alternative way of education, not a college education, not a university education, for postgraduate education, as long as it doesn't need lab and other setup. I think for most areas where classrooms are what is offered by universities or colleges, YouTube, Twitter, they can act better, much better. You don't have to many students in India. Let's look at the reality. Many students in India, they travel daily 1 hour and 1 hour up, 1 hour down journey to attend the university or college. 2 hours is straight gone from the 24-hour day. And not only that, you spend significant energy, your overall daily energy, you spend significant energy on that public transportation or private transportation. You waste that those 2 hours, and then in the university maybe another 6 7 hours, maybe 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock, 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, or 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock, whatever time, how much, 9 10 11 12 1 2 3 4 6 7 hours, except lunch and others, so take minimum 5 hours into 5 days a week, 25 hours, 10 hours in commutation, 25 35 hours. People talk about 40 hours a week of working and 35 hours you're spending. If you spend, compared to this 35 hours, if you spend 20 hours in a week in a structured way in studying the huge amount of great, I'm not talking about sort of below par category of content. Because most of the content that you get in Indian classroom education is below par. There is no denying that. I'm saying most of it. That's the escape route I built. So most of the content you get in Indian academic environment is below par. Their relevance, how much they are relevant in real world, their contextual understanding, their bookies or whatever. So again, coming back to the first video I did of the worthiness of a university UGPG degree. I think it was not frivolous, it was right on target, and probably I understated the problem there. The whatever you call it, India may say that to become an IAS you need a graduation degree, you need a post graduation degree, you need a PhD to be university professor. I think much of those days are gone. You can do a PhD also sitting at home with a university long distance. But then to do a PhD, you need a master's. To do a master's, you need a graduation. So they have built a pipeline which is very difficult to break through. But I think much of that is falling apart because the more so I know I'll tell you 2, 3 names here. KU Jin is one. I thought in LSE I saw some of her presentations today. Understanding Chinese economy better. I had some of those references in my LinkedIn account, which I can't access now. So that was something great. Professor Kyujin of LSE, she was trying to throw, and some of the data she said, like China happens to be leading in 34 out of 45 leading tech sector. Every 4 app downloaded in US, 5 are made in China. The Chinese lead in, and how Chinese policymakers, municipalities, mayor economy to market economy. She has a book on that. Whatever the title of the book, I'm forgetting. So this and another is RN Bhaskar, RK Bhaskar in India. I found that is also good. He talks about Indian inequality and other things. So coming back to my point is that I'm seeing that the more I see whatever content is available in YouTube on education sector is fascinating. Google can, I believe that whatever its revenue and profit and other things are, they can start a university any day with great classroom lectures and content, and they should do it, I believe, at a very low cost. Somebody should structure those various lectures, various speeches in a just like as it happens in a BCom, BA, journalism, law course, or in BBA, MBA course, the program. They should try to structure it and and structuring it also vary. It will not be one single standard. I always say that one size doesn't fit all, because various students come from various entry qualities, depending on what the student starts and how much you can feed him, or how much intellectual content you should give him, at what pace, at what rate you should try to ensure the student progresses. So that those will be very interesting. I believe there is a need for that. Trying to start, like various universities have done that, they have tried to do it. I think online, Udemy or others, but I believe they are also, what is happening there is it is something in one particular source. You do it from a Stanford, MIT, Harvard, Yale. But I'm trying to take what I say is that I'm not bound by one single source or content source. I'm constantly looking at various best quality presentations available, latest, contextual, which describes me present day world and which makes me think what type of world we are going to have tomorrow. Be it in financial market, be it in economics, be it in geopolitics, be it in military, be it in the realignment, because the world is realigning. I think we had a stable world leadership with America for a century or nearly a century now. And what new leadership, and as the new leadership emerges, the other nations also realign. People were aligning more with America for so long because that was the only best option they had, particularly after the collapse of USSR. But I think now there is a new force coming up. Somebody was saying, even I think Anand Bhaskar and somebody was saying that it is not BRICS or BRICS Plus, all that. It is only Russia, India, and China. I will say it is Russia and China, or primarily China again. China alone redefines the world, and what the world of future would be. Much of that would depend on China and their academic, their political, their innovative economy, their policy making. Much of that will depend on that. So I wanted to speak on few other areas. Probably I'll in near future. I'll within a day or two I'll also talk about something on the financial markets. Whatever limited understanding I have, I'll talk about that. Second, I'll talk about is that on the leadership side, probably some more content is needed, and why leadership is important, what type of leadership vacuum we are looking at now. Would one call Trump as a statesman, as a global leader? I will not go that far probably. He has won the US election. He is primarily US centered. He doesn't have much to worry about rest of the world. He doesn't care much about the rest of the world. He cares about America, and therefore many of his policies will be myopic, short-termist. So there is a leadership vacuum. Note we see lots of leadership in the corporate world. One not denying that. I think the leadership in corporate world amazes me. I don't remember. Maybe I did not follow properly. The era of Jack Welch or that of IBM. What's his name? I'm forgetting his name. Louis Chestnut and Intel, Andy Grove, Bill Gates have been there in the scenario for 20 years, 25, 30 years. Then many others. But presently I see there is a very bright new generation of leaders in the corporate world. Elon Musk, Google's three of them, Sundar Pichai, Sergey Brin, and what is the other person I'm forgetting? Facebook I will not put there. Twitter is there, Google is there, then Nvidia is there, then Jensen Huang, and even ChatGPT. Though I don't rate ChatGPT or OpenAI to be a high-ranking AI winner in coming years or days. But definitely that gentleman is also passionate the way he's trying to develop his team or structure. So I'm saying that I am very much bullish or I'm very much positive on the leadership I see in the corporate side, and many of those corporate side leaders are not short termists. They are not looking at money in the short term or medium term. They believe if they can generate work on an idea, the idea can benefit millions and billions in the world. So though the responsibility of lifting the people out of poverty line, giving them a good life, that responsibility mostly lie with the state, the government. That side has been pretty disappointing picture. But where I find optimism is that the corporate side, the companies, good companies, big companies, they have lots of resources, and they're trying to do that job. So where the nation states fail, and I'll be happy. I believe nation states should fail, and the world should become one, so that often these immigration, H-1B visa, whatever you talk about, the discrimination, racism, that should also go. Like whatever echoing John Lennon's word, imagine there is no religion, imagine there is no nations or whatever. I think it is high time that the physical boundaries that separates nations, that should go. The world should become one. The world should try to be nice and kind to humanity, respect merit, respect hard work, respect passion, respect honesty, respect truthfulness. These are very important. So I believe if you look at political leaders, they are becoming more shrewd and astute. They rarely speak from their heart. They rarely speak the truth. We have big examples in India. Whereas corporate leaders, if you look at it, they are trying to do their best in trying to make a better India. And I'm not including certain crony capitalists here, obviously, but there are others also. And in the globally, there are many of them. So they are not trying to, be dishonest, uh, be cheaters, be untruthful. They are trying to make a better world, and there is a technology. They use technology. They use their leadership. They use their team. They develop new team members. They empower their teams. They are not autocratic. They are sympathetic, empathetic. They lead the change. What I will talk about. So I probably need to talk more on change management also. So, all said and done, coming back to the bottom line, I had quite a few things to talk about. Something on the financial market side, how to read financial markets. That will be the first one, and not one of the SEBI or NSE thing. I will probably go more fundamental economic side, like some of the basic fundamental indicators. And then on this side, I believe that it was not frivolous when I said earlier that is an MBA worth it at $100,000 to $200,000. Increasingly, I'm getting fixated, or I'm becoming more hardened that no, it is not. Even from an Harvard MBA or Stanford or Ivy League or IIM's MBA, IIM's 35 lakhs. What do they offer, man? You take that 35 hours, have endless supply of tea, coffee, let your mom make it. You go through certain structured videos. What is lacking is really structured video content. But randomness also helps, because I said earlier when I was talking about my blog on PhD that it's a garden path of knowledge. The internet is full of that. It's a garden. There are various, meandering alleys, gardens, avenues. You when you have structured content, you may not come across a random one which may be really great. Yes, that danger is there. So I'm not totally stopping that. You can always have add-on readings on top of your studies when you're going through an MBA, BBA, or MA, LLBA, Masters, Law, Journalism, Content, Economics course, Economics program, Psychology program, Leadership program. But there is always a structured content, and then your mind can wander a bit unstructured way also. So it is important that you have some structured content, minimum basic, which you go through. And also another thing important, which I said earlier, where do you place that new knowledge or content? It is very important that there is a very great article by Professor X, if you understand, that in the basement of Ivory Tower or similar book. And then there is a recent one I found. How to place a newly acquired information knowledge. You need to be able to place it contextually. Because oftentimes it happens that people don't place a newly acquired information knowledge on top of what they already know, what is proven to be right, truth. So it is very important that we read a lot of things, we watch a lot of videos, some for fun, some for entertainment, some for instructive reasons, educational purposes. It is important that you structure them properly, you index them properly. It is important that where your brain, where your mind, where your thoughtful, conscious mind place that new fact or new piece of information on top of, in between your existing known information, which are also credible, which are also true. So these are some of the things I believe is necessary. I am getting more fixated, I am getting more stubborn on the idea that a university education, a college education for graduation, post graduation is mandatory, fundamentally needed in society. I feel higher education, the way the universities delivered it, particularly in India, they don't serve the purpose much of it. Most of the universities, if you talk about BSc in chemistry, if you talk about something like an engineering like electrical engineering, electronics engineering, working with semiconductors, chips, I agree. Chemical engineering, little bit of it, but much of it is redundant, useless. You rather devote time. And also another thing I'll recommend, whoever is watching or doing, You record some videos of yours. I'm not saying not only me, as I'm getting into this video blogging and others. You record something you want to say, you watch it few times yourself, how good you are speaking, how well you are striking your points, and able to, even when you are studying, how can you summarize a 2 hour video or and a half hour video in 10 minutes. Those will be good practice to understand that you have understood those what you have gone through. If you are not going through proper formal university education, which I hinted earlier that I'll talk about that, I think if you are not going through a formal university degree education process, you have nothing to worry, nothing to, you don't regret that you are missing out much. You can do some of your own works, or entrepreneurial business, whatever you want to do, something on that side. And you can browse yourself in the internet through Twitter, through YouTube, and get to know many things on which areas you have interest on, in a structured schematic format. So this part I talked about now. I'll talk more on these areas. Thank you. Good night.